Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review and a demo on the Magic Star Concealers by Jeffree Star. I did buy this about 2 weeks ago and I wanted to get a good test of where different ways to apply it to see what the best way to use would be. I believe the concealers were released on April 19, and what I had to do is I went down to the Morphe store because when I was looking at videos online, I couldn't tell what shade I would be because it's really hard to tell when it's just like a picture of the concealer online versus actual swatches. Jeffree did do a video with swatches on his channel along with Gabriel Zamora, and Gabriel Zamora is a little more warm tone, Jeffree is a little more fair. I'm kind of in between right now because I haven't been tanning, so I'm a little more light. I do go a little darker during the summer, and I do take a little bit of self-tanner, so I do get a little darker. Right now I'm actually really, I would say, pale for a Mexican, but I don't have any color on me, so it was a little hard looking at the colors online, and I do have them here because he did release like pink undertones, more warm undertones, yellow undertones, but the bad part about it is that all the lighter shades online and in store were sold out. So I think I went like 3 days after they were released, but they did have the actual concealer samples there to swatch. Obviously, we know that the packaging is everything. I think that's what sold me, the packaging. So it's a beautiful, luxurious looking packaging. You got like the little, it's like a little crown or like a little bling. What are those things called? Like when the queens have them. I don't know what it's called, but you guys know what I'm talking about. But they like do that little thing on you or whatever. And it's got a really sharp pointy star at the very top. The two colors that I got are Peach and C14. C14 is very pale yellow. Like I said, they did not have the shades that were lighter. Like I think it was like the C2 to like C9 or something like that were completely sold out. When I took C14, which is this pale yellow, and C15, and you would think that because they're right next to each other they would gradually go up. No, I think I have a picture somewhere, but it was a little rubbed off. It was like this pale yellow, and then boom, it went to like a completely warm shade. So I would highly recommend, if you have a Morphe store or a store that carries these concealers, that you go play with them, because honestly I think it's gonna be a hit or miss if you guys go online. The colors online, the pictures I'm looking at them here, I honestly feel like you need to go in store. I believe he does offer, here we go, the return policy. I think he said if they do have the items available, they will do exchanges for you guys. So that's actually really, really good. It also says that it has 20% pigment, which means it's gonna give you really good coverage. What I noticed, and I will show you guys in the demo and talk about it a little more, is that you go in, and I'm going to be showing you swatches somewhere along this video. If you do a normal swatch, this thing is nearly going to cover a tattoo. You guys will see the peach. Literally, I'll be covering this here so you guys can see it. It will cover it. Obviously, when you guys diffuse it with the beauty blender, with your finger, or with the brush, it's going to fade out. But you guys will definitely get full coverage if you guys follow these little steps that I'm going to show you in the demo. I would not suggest that you guys go in with a very heavy hand, because if like you do, it kind of gets tacky and it takes a little while to dry. I noticed that on the swatches on my hand, that when I went to swatch and I was like, wow, that's full coverage, it was like taking forever to dry, and then when I would touch it, it was really tacky. So I would suggest for you guys to build your coverage, and I'm going to be showing you guys in the demo. So depending on if you guys like a super bright eye, then you guys can go a little heavy handed and then touch up in the areas like I'll show you in the demo, or you guys can just go very light. And I do mix these two concealers that I have here because, like I said, they didn't have my shade, and this is a little too much for me. So you guys can see this is actually perfect the way I blended. Now, if they would have had maybe like a C6 or C7 or something like that, that might have been my correct brightening effect, but I feel like this alone is too much for me. If that's your thing, hey, this might work for you, because in the video you guys will see it's not super bad, but like for an everyday use, I wouldn't go for it. If you guys find your correct shade, you won't need to blend another shade in to kind of even it out. There's tons of shades, like I said. It's just going to be easier if you guys go in store.
Here on the left, we have the Peach Corrector. This is going to help correct any under eye circles, any blue or, discoloration under your eyes. On the right, we have the yellow banana pale color. So you guys can see with one simple swatch, this almost covers my tattoos. And he does say these have 20% pigment. And if you guys actually build this, you could probably cover a tattoo, as you guys can see.
We're going to go ahead and ignore my crazy hair because I have not done it. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go a little heavier right down here. And then I'm just gonna use whatever's left and bring a little bit out. And I'm actually gonna put some right around here because I have a little bit of redness from this allergic reaction I have going. So I'm only gonna do one eye so you guys can see what it does. I'm going to take very little of this Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer in natural beige. And honestly, if I would have got my correct shade, which would have had some yellow undertones along with more of a color of neutral into it, I feel like it would do better. So that's the color that I'm applying. So if I would have had something that mixes both of those right there, I feel like I would have done really, really good. Very gently, just apply a little of this one to add a little color so it's not as dark yellow. And as you guys can see, that diffuses it a little bit. And this is actually an amazing lightweight glowy concealer. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my finger and I'm just going to go ahead and blend this in. And I also use it as my eyeshadow base. It doesn't crease up there, so we're gonna use that. So you guys can see it's bright, but it's not super bright versus this eye here. Then I take a slightly damp beauty blender right here. Now, what I noticed after using this, and I like that I actually held off on the review so I can try it out in different ways. If you apply a lot of the concealer on, what's going to happen is it's going to get tacky and just kind of get, not tacky to where it's like sticky and hard to blend, but it will take a little longer to dry because then you'll have like that tacky feel to it. I would start off by applying a little bit and setting it, and then in the areas like right here where I have a little more blue, I just go back, and I learned this after using it a few times. I go back and I just put very little right where I need it, or like some more is seeping out, and I'll blend with my finger, not all the way, but just a little. And before I finish blending that in, I'm gonna let it set for a couple seconds, because once it starts drying up, that coverage is a little more intense and a little more full. So the coverage will be better if you let it sit before you actually, you know, blend it in, or, you know, pounce it in, whatever, brush, finger, beauty blender, whatever. Don't wait too long because it will go ahead and dry. On this side, what I'm gonna do is, this would be on a normal day, like just that much. I would not be applying as much, and then I go a little over here. So like I barely tap it. I took it off and I barely tap it. But like I said, we're gonna go in because I am going to work, and for the sake of the video, I'll go in a little more and do that. So now, as you guys can see, this one's a little brighter than this one. So now I'll go in with my beauty blender and diffuse that out and blend it out. You guys see the difference? Like right here where I applied a little more, it looks less sunken in versus right here. Hopefully it's coming through on the camera. It does help. So right here I still have like a little bit of blue versus here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing. Is I'm gonna apply just a little bit in those areas where I need a little more coverage, and do the same thing. So this is the final look. It is not like a stark bright white, but it does give you a beautiful, you know, bright under eye. Like I said, I would highly suggest going in with a very light layer or a good layer, and then just touching up on those areas that a little bit of blue or, you know, a little bit of other colors might be seeping through underneath. Then you guys can go back and touch those up. So like I said, it's a very nice buildable, I would say buildable because you don't want to go in and cake it in. So buildable, beautiful, full coverage if you guys apply this on the right way. These concealers set really nice onto your face. I would say it's more like a satin finish. I don't think it's like a super matte or dewy. It's like, it does leave you like this luminous, beautiful glow, but it's not exaggerated and it's not super matte. It's like beautiful and satin. And then when I add this one on here, it makes it even more luminous. And like I said, right now I'm a little dry and it just sets so beautiful. If you do have dry patches, I would suggest that you guys use a little beauty blender or the warmth of your finger so that it kind of melts the product into your skin a little better versus using a brush. Because with a brush, I feel like you're really gonna pack that on and it's gonna give you more full coverage, but it's also going to just be a little too much and cling on to your dry patches. So it does set to a beautiful satin finish. It is gorgeous. The wear is amazing. I went to the Too Faced event. I think I have this concealer on for 12 hours. I didn't set it with no powder, no nothing. It was a little warm and sweaty. I did pictures and it did not budge. It did not crease. It did not like patch up or anything. It wore so beautiful. I like how even and like bright your eyes look with it without being like over exaggerated or like thick, because I've noticed that sometimes when I see people and I'm like talking to them, I can see their concealer's like really cakey. The formula to this is so fine and thin to where you can build the coverage and it's not gonna look like cakey to where it like starts creasing and you guys see like that. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like sometimes when I talk to people that wear a lot of makeup, I'm just like sitting there like, did you blend? Did you like dab your finger in there? Like, you guys get what I'm saying, right? This won't do that. But honestly, I would suggest building your coverage. I think I covered everything, but I would suggest using a brush for more coverage, a damp beauty blender to fix everything, but in order to melt that product into your under eye, I would use your finger. And remember, if you're dry, stay away from powder and stay away from caking it up and that brush because it's gonna be too much and it's gonna emphasize all those dry patches and harsh lines. But just play with it a little bit. I highly recommend it. I would give it 2 thumbs up. I definitely approve of this concealer. I am very happy with my purchase. I will be going back and seeing if I can find my correct shade. And a lot of people I noticed were like, damn, $22, that's a lot of money. Honestly, look at the packaging and you get what you pay for. You could be going in and buying a $12, $13 concealer, but the coverage is not going to be the same. It's not gonna have 20% pigment and it's not going to wear as long and set as beautiful. So remember, you always get what you pay for. Pay those extra few bucks to get something that's worth it. And I mean, this packaging is just everything. Like, this is so pretty. I absolutely love it. Hope that this review was helpful to you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow me on Instagram at the one and only Maria. Thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you later. Bye.